This video did not exist in your timeline until your consciousness pulled it here. Take a deep breath and look at the screen. You think you're just watching another video, but you are actually experiencing a direct reflection of your own internal awakening. Today, we're going to dive into the profound truth that the quantum field is triggered by your neurological feeling. I promise you, by the time this transmission ends, you will completely understand your true power as the ultimate creator of your reality, and you will never look at your emotions the same way again. Tell me, have you ever felt a sudden, unexplainable shift in your mood right before a massive coincidence happened in your life? This video did not exist in your timeline until your consciousness pulled it here. Take a deep breath and look at the screen. You think you're just watching another video, but you are actually experiencing a direct reflection of your own internal awakening. Today, we're going to dive into the profound truth that the quantum field is triggered by your neurological feeling. I promise you, by the time this transmission ends, you will completely understand your true power as the ultimate creator of your reality, and you will never look at your emotions the same way again. Tell me, have you ever felt a sudden, unexplainable shift in your mood right before a massive coincidence happened in your life? To understand this superpower, we must first set the stage of the invisible world around you. In our metaphysical tradition, the quantum field is not just a cold scientific concept. It is a living, breathing sea of infinite probability waves. It is an intelligent matrix that connects every single atom in the universe. Imagine a dark room filled with 1,000,000 different potential futures, all existing at the same exact time. None of them are real yet. They are just possibilities. Now, enter the concept of observation. In this context, observation is not a passive act of just watching things happen. Observation is an active, dynamic force. When a consciousness observes the field, it forces that infinite wave of probability to collapse into a single, solid event. But here is the secret most people miss. You do not observe the quantum field solely with your physical eyes. You observe it with your entire being. Let us begin by dismantling the greatest illusion you have ever been taught. You look around you, and you see a solid world. You see walls. You see your hands. You see the circumstances of your daily life as fixed, unyielding objects. But what if I told you that everything you perceive as solid is actually a shimmering web of infinite possibilities? In the realm of quantum mechanics, we know that atoms are 99.999% empty space. This is not just a scientific curiosity. It is a profound spiritual truth. The physical world you are interacting with right now is nothing more than a dense projection of energy. It is a holographic reflection of frequencies. The things you touch and see do not have a fixed state until a consciousness interacts with them. This means that the reality you wake up to every single day is not happening to you. It is responding to you. You have been moving through life believing you are a victim of a solid universe, when in truth, you are walking through a fluid, ever-changing matrix of potential waiting for your command. Here is where the concept of the observer effect takes on a deeply personal meaning. Most spiritual seekers understand the basic premise that thoughts become things. They repeat affirmations, they create vision boards, and they try to force their minds to think positively. Yet, their reality remains exactly the same. Why does this happen? It happens because the universe does not speak the language of human words. The quantum field does not understand English or Spanish or any other spoken dialect. The universe speaks strictly in the language of frequency and vibration. When you are just thinking a thought in your intellect, you are only sending out a very weak electrical signal. The field barely registers it. True observation, the kind that literally bends space and time, is a full-body experience. It requires more than just your brain. It requires the immense magnetic power of your heart and your entire nervous system. This brings us to the core revelation of this transmission. The quantum field is triggered by neurological feeling. What does this mean? It means that your nervous system is the ultimate antenna, connecting you to the fabric of reality. When you visualize a desire, let us say a new career, a loving relationship, or perfect health, your brain creates the image. That image is the electrical blueprint, but it is your emotion that acts as the magnetic force that pulls that blueprint into your physical dimension. If you visualize wealth while your nervous system is secretly radiating the feeling of lack, desperation, and anxiety, the quantum field only responds to the anxiety. It ignores the picture in your head and perfectly matches the feeling in your body. It brings you more circumstances that make you feel lack. Your reality is always a perfect mirror of your dominant neurological state. Now, let us talk about why visualizing with emotion is an absolute superpower. When you close your eyes and bring up an image of your desired future, and then you deliberately cultivate the exact emotion you would feel if it were happening right now, something magical occurs in your biology. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a real external event and a vividly imagined internal one. When you feel the joy, the gratitude, or the relief of your wish fulfilled, your brain begins firing new neural pathways. Your body begins releasing matching chemicals. In that very moment, your physical vessel believes the future has already arrived. You are literally signaling new genes in new ways. You are no longer living in the memory of your past. You are living in the vision of your future. This is when the quantum field has no choice but to respond. Think about a time when you experienced a powerful sense of déjà vu. You walk into a room, or you hear a specific sentence, and a sudden electric shock goes through your spine. You feel with absolute certainty that you have been in this exact moment before. This is not a glitch in your brain. This is a quantum feedback loop. Déjà vu occurs when your current frequency perfectly aligns with a timeline you have already created in the quantum field. It is a sign that your neurological state has successfully docked with a destined probability. When you deliberately practice feeling the emotions of your future, you start to experience these moments more often. You begin to feel a strange familiarity with things that have not physically happened yet. You are tuning your biological radio to a station that broadcasts your highest potential. But what if I tell you that society has programmed you to do this completely backwards? From the moment you were born, you were taught a model of cause and effect. You were taught to wait for something outside of you to happen before you allow yourself to feel an emotion. You say to yourself, "When I get the money, then I will feel secure. When I find the perfect partner, then I will feel loved. When I am healed, then I will feel whole." This is the ultimate trap of the three-dimensional matrix. By waiting for the external environment to change first, you are constantly observing reality from a state of lack. You are telling the quantum field that you do not have it. And because the field is an unconditional mirror, it simply replies, "You are right, you do not have it," and gives you more of the same waiting. To become a true master of reality, you must embrace the quantum model of reality, which is causing an effect. You must feel the security before the wealth arrives. You must feel the immense, heart-opening love before the partner shows up. You must feel complete wholeness while the body is still healing. This is the hardest test for a human being. It requires you to be greater than your physical environment. It requires you to stop relying on your physical senses to dictate your internal state. When you can sit in a quiet room, close your eyes, and generate a feeling of overwhelming gratitude for a future event so strongly that you bring yourself to tears, you have just collapsed the wave. You have just inserted a new command code into the matrix. This is why gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. In the normal human experience, when do we say thank you? We say it after we receive a gift. Therefore, the emotional signature of gratitude means that the event has already happened. When you combine a clear intention with the elevated emotion of gratitude, your body is biologically convinced that the manifestation is complete. The quantum field registers this energetic signature as a finished fact. It then begins organizing synchronicities, chance encounters, and sudden opportunities to bridge the gap between your current physical location and that newly established reality. The field moves people, circumstances, and events in ways your logical mind could never calculate. Have you ever thought about someone intensely, and then they called you 5 minutes later? Or perhaps you made a firm decision to change your life, and the very next day, an unexpected email provided the exact solution you needed. These are not random accidents. These are direct communications from the quantum field. We call them synchronicities. Synchronicities are the breadcrumbs left by your future self. They are physical evidence that your neurological feeling has successfully penetrated the invisible realm. When you start noticing these repeating numbers, these strange coincidences, do not brush them off. Acknowledge them. Feel the thrill of realizing that your consciousness is driving the vehicle of your life. The more you celebrate these small shifts, the more momentum you build in the field. However, we must address the period of chaos that often precedes a major manifestation. When you drastically change your neurological feeling, you are literally pulling the plug on your old reality. The old structures, relationships, and situations that were matched to your old frequency can no longer survive in your new energy. They begin to crumble. Sometimes this looks like losing a job, a sudden breakup, or a period of intense confusion. This is the phase where most people fail. They look at the crumbling physical world, they panic, they drop their elevated emotion, and they revert back to their old state of fear. You must understand that this chaos is just energy rearranging itself. The universe is clearing the stage to make room for what you have commanded. You must hold your new frequency, even when the three-dimensional world is falling apart. Holding that frequency requires radical acceptance of the present moment. You cannot create a new reality if you are constantly fighting the old one. Resistance is just another form of intense focus, and whatever you focus on, you amplify in the quantum field. If you hate your current job, and you visualize a new one out of desperation to escape, your core feeling is still hatred and lack. The field will manifest a new job that eventually brings you the exact same feelings of misery. To neutralize the old timeline, you must make peace with it. You must look at your current life and say, "This is simply the residue of my past thoughts and feelings, and it has no power over my future." When you reach a state of neutrality regarding your present, your energy is finally freed up to be projected into the new vision. Let us explore the practical technique of sensory immersion. When you meditate to create reality, you must engage as many internal senses as possible. If you are manifesting a new home, do not just see a picture of a house. Feel the cold metal of the key in your hand. Smell the fresh paint on the walls. Hear the sound of the front door clicking shut behind you. And most importantly, let the feeling of deep safety and joy wash over your chest and stomach. Your nervous system is highly responsive to this level of detail. The more vivid the sensory experience, the more potent the neurological feeling becomes. You are literally weaving a new fabric of reality from the inside out. You are becoming the architect of your own destiny through the sheer power of focused awareness. As you practice this, you will notice a profound shift in your waking life. You will no longer be easily triggered by external events. When someone tries to insult you, or when a plan falls through, you will not react with the old patterns of anger or disappointment. Why? Because you have trained your nervous system to be independent of the environment. You have realized that reacting negatively is simply giving away your quantum power to an external circumstance. You become the eye of the storm, calm, centered, and deeply rooted in the knowing that your internal state dictates the outer world. This emotional mastery is the true mark of an awakened creator. You stop being a thermometer that only reads the temperature of the room, and you become the thermostat that sets it. In this state of emotional mastery, you will begin to experience sudden, powerful urges to take action. This is called inspired action. It feels completely different from the forced, exhausting effort you used to exert when you were trying to make things happen purely in the physical world. Inspired action feels like a gentle push from the universe. It is an intuitive nudge to go to a certain coffee shop, to read a specific book, or to reach out to a stranger. When you follow these nudges, the path unfolds with zero resistance. Doors open as if by magic. You find yourself in the right place at the perfect time. This is because you are no longer trying to move matter with matter. You are allowing the quantum field to move you through the path of least resistance toward your deeply felt desire. It is crucial to understand the ripple effect your neurological set has on the people around you. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field that extends several feet outside of your physical body. This field carries the frequency of your dominant emotions. When you walk into a room radiating the frequency of love, peace, and abundance, you literally alter the atomic structure of that space. People will feel drawn to you without knowing why. Animals will approach you. Situations will de-escalate simply because of your presence. You become a walking catalyst for positive change. By mastering your own quantum state, you are not just improving your own life, you are actively contributing to the elevation of the collective consciousness of the entire planet. To maintain this level of power, you must ruthlessly reclaim your attention from the external programming designed to keep you in fear. The news, the endless scrolling on social media, the toxic conversations, they are all mechanisms that hijack your neurological feeling. When you consume fear-based content, your body produces cortisol and adrenaline. You are tricked into observing a timeline of disaster and scarcity. You are unconsciously collapsing negative probabilities into your personal reality. You must treat your attention as your most sacred currency. Do not spend it on things that lower your vibration. Protect your inner sanctuary. Choose to focus only on that which empowers you, expands you, and reminds you of your infinite nature. Understand that the quantum field has no judgment and no limits. It does not decide if your desires are too big, too difficult, or unrealistic. Those are purely human concepts, born from the limitations of the logical mind. The field operates on a simple mechanism of matching frequencies. If you can clearly imagine it and intensely feel it in your nervous system, the universe must produce it. It is a universal law, as reliable as gravity. The only thing that delays your manifestation is your own fluctuation in frequency. When you doubt, when you worry, when you check reality to see if it has happened yet, you break the connection. You tell the field to pause. Consistency of feeling is the secret to rapid materialization. Let us do a small activation right now. Wherever you are listening to this, I want you to drop your shoulders. Take a deep, slow breath into your belly. Now, bring to mind one thing you deeply desire. Just one thing. See a brief flash of it in your mind. Now, drop the image and focus entirely on your chest. Generate the feeling of absolute relief. The feeling of, thank God it finally happened. Let that relief spread down your arms and legs. Feel a slight smile form on your lips. Hold that feeling for just 10 seconds. Memorize this sensation in your body. This, right here, is the superpower. You have just sent a massive, coherent wave into the quantum field. If you can return to this exact feeling several times a day, your life will change in ways that will leave you breathless. You are not a biological machine living in a random, chaotic universe. You are a divine consciousness, wearing a physical body, playing a highly advanced game of energy. Your emotions are not weaknesses. They are not inconveniences to be suppressed. Your emotions are the steering wheel of your reality. They are the engine of your manifestation. When you finally grasp that your neurological feeling is the brush with which you paint the canvas of the cosmos, you stop fearing the future. You stop regretting the past. You step fully into the eternal now, where all power resides. You realize that you have always been the creator. You just forgot how to use the controls. But now, the memory has returned. As you move forward from this moment, carry this knowledge deep within your cells. Make a commitment to observe your emotional state with fierce vigilance. When you catch yourself slipping into the frequencies of lack or fear, pause. Do not judge yourself. Simply pivot. Use your breath, use your imagination, and steer your nervous system back to the feeling of your desired future. Manifestation is not a one-time event. It is a constant, beautiful dance between your internal world and the external field. It is a state of being. You are the conductor of this universal symphony. Raise your baton, command the frequency, and watch as the quantum field eagerly organizes itself to bring you your greatest masterpiece. But what if I tell you the ultimate truth? You are not just existing in reality. You are not just manipulating the quantum field. You are the reality observing itself. You are the field waking up to its own power through the unique lens of your human experience. Everything we have discussed today comes down to one undeniable fact. You are the absolute creator of your world through your active emotional observation. I want to thank you for allowing your consciousness to intersect with this message today. If this transmission resonated with your soul, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button so this frequency can reach others who need to awaken. Now, let us anchor this new timeline. Write in the comments right now, I am the observer, and my feelings command reality. I leave you with this question to ponder. What strange signs or beautiful synchronicities have you been noticing in your life recently?